religion. I think it's all it comes down at the end of it to religion. Because it's kind of like you want to make them critical thinkers. You want to make them metacognize what their place in the world is. Some people think, oh, well, that will never happen, like people, like I'm thinking maybe George Bush isn't going to end up being the greatest president ever because of the war in Iraq. People aren't going to remember all the little details of maybe if he's not that bright now. All they'll remember is the war in 50 years, and maybe it'll end up being a positive thing. People say, oh, it's a disaster, it's getting worse. Well, you're not realizing we're moving on something that's moving. We're riding a wave. There's other factors that could increase, that could bring the future closer to us quicker than you think. And that is little personal computers. The iPhone is pretty much a personal computer. You can look at it, have all your other friends with iPhones, and you can see exactly where they are, like with Google Earth. And it's like opening up some serious transparency. Pretty soon we'll be able to do video chat with your iPhone, no matter where you are in the world. So it's instantaneous communication. No more planning about something. If you want to do it, you just do it. If you want to ask somebody something. So that's basically what it's going to do, is bring everybody together. So, and that includes people in the Middle East. That includes the Iranians and the Iraqis and the people living in North Korea and in Myanmar and Sudan and all these like oppressive countries. They're oppressed. They won't be oppressed anymore. There's no way their government will be able to oppress them, because they'll know exactly what's going on. They'll be in contact with everybody, and there would be a revolution in North Korea if all those North Koreans could speak English and had these super iPhones where you can talk to everybody. So once those get cheap enough that everybody owns them, very quickly, all of the ideas of religious ideas that people have that are confusing are going to have to evaporate. Crazy religious ideas that Middle Easterners have, like mercy killing, where I saw a YouTube video where they killed a 17-year-old girl in Iran or northern Iraq or something because she's Shiite and she was seen walking down the street a couple times with a Sunni boy. So her own family stoned her to death because they think that apparently they think that they're going to go to hell, or the other Shias are going to go to hell, even though they're Muslims just like you, and they're the demons and you can't talk to them. Maybe it's a afterlife thing, and so maybe they were doing her a favor by saving her from hell by hanging out with him. I don't know. The problem is that fundamentalists, Christians too, they think that way, these Muslims, because they don't have any exposure to the outside world. That's all they know. And once everybody has the iPhone, super iPhone, they will have exposure. And all of the children who are impressionable will be paying attention to the video chat on the iPhone and YouTube and internet and all that stuff, and not so much to their crazy older brothers and parents who don't know how to use a computer yet. So I think once that happens, people will live responsibly and sustainably, and we will be able to get our population under control voluntarily, because everybody will be educated, and everybody will know, what it takes to live in a peaceful world. You can't have too many people. But we have time. We're 6 billion now. Earth can sustain 20 billion, so we can grow another 3.5 times more in population. If we'll get up to 9 billion by 2100, we've got a couple hundred years at this growth rate until we get to the maximum capacity of the Earth. So as far as catastrophes go, I don't really see it happening. I think we're going to have a pretty smooth transition into sustainability and immortality. The ocean levels are going to rise 1 meter in the next 100 years, I think, by 2100. And I think that's completely manageable. I think we can build walls around our cities if we want, but I don't think we'll even do that. I think the oceans will encroach, and the buildings we build these days aren't designed to last 100 years anyways. So, and we're going to have new technology to build plastic buildings with very thin filament. Construct them extremely strong. So, we'll just build all of our cities inland. Gradually. Islands will easily, I think, be able to ship out dirt to keep those islands alive. All the islands in the world. So what's the timeline for all of this? World peace. What's the timeline for world peace? What's the timeline for peace in the Middle East? I would say it's all dependent on our technology, on the super iPhone. When's that going to come out? I think within 5 years, super iPhone will exist. We already have satellite phones, so we'll have iPhone connected to satellite. How we use it anywhere in the world, it'll be ultra bandwidth from, I guess, extra satellites. So 5 years, once that happens, peace in the Middle East within 2 years. So I say peace, or maybe even quicker, but I say definitely peace, world peace within 7 years. That's my prediction. Let's see. How about the economy? What's going to happen with the economy? We are in a transition period right now. Because we've been consumers so long, and there's the whole debt thing, running out of debt, but that's we have built all we can anyways. We've got as much as we need, I think. We don't need cars anymore. We can get enough used cars, so that's why the car industry is going down. It's just a natural thing, and all this other stuff. So I think we will have to make a transition into a different kind of economy. Barack Obama has a very good idea, huge stimulus package to build up the renewable energy infrastructure, and I think that'll save us. Also, new industry. I don't think manufacturing is really going to be a big job provider, because we're going to have automation, and all of these. It'll just be cheaper to buy stuff, to make stuff, and so cheaper to buy stuff. So cost of living, I think, is going to go way down on that. So how are we going to provide jobs? Have a big exchange of capital. I think change industry to tourism and education. Once we have very cheap transportation, I think once we get energy down, we can't. One thing we know for sure is, actually, I don't know. Global warming, that's another thing to kind of be thinking about. Transportation and global warming. I can't remember. I forgot to look last night how fast we're heating up. We are heating up. But apparently, I guess it's common knowledge that other planets